Hello, hey, hi, social media family. Being any person among yourselves, from subscribers to visitors alike, or my bad, correction, even so, who are affiliated, associated with, and are representing my own particular YouTube social media channel, and likewise chat room and conversation. How you all doing? If we like that, how are any of your loved ones being from relatives or family members to friends of your many different households? Hopefully all's well that ends well for you and yours, and for me and mine, for that matter, and moving right on. But then, whereas the president's social media broadcast is regarding or making reference to whatever I said, stated for record, how our president POTUS, President of the United States, has gone about expressing himself in a rather unsympathetic way for the deceased being of a Hollywood or Hollywood California actor, for this particular one who has co-starred in a vintage classic pop culture TV show comedy drama, and for the one that was called by its name title of All in the Family. And as you all know, this male person had most recently had become him and his wife, for that matter, had most recently become subjected to experiencing that being of which would be considered as a double homicide. Did I say homicide? Homicide. Did I say homicide? I thought it was dissing the homos. In fact, I'm sorry, homicide is what I meant, a double homicide. And whereas the suspect in question had turned out to be their own son, who had unalived them. But then I've always had my suspicions about, that being of the unaliving of another Hollywood or Hollywood couple, being of James. Did I say that right? No, Gene Hackman and his wife, rather, not James Conner. Yeah. Anyway, it was the son that had unalived the both of them. And that is where rather tragic. It had been discovered that to be the case in a situation upon evidence being gathered, whereas the local law enforcement community had determined that it was an inside job. Isn't that something? Now, I would have gone about broadcasting much sooner so far as this present social media video content material. If it had not been for this, excuse my language, pardon my friend, fucktard, shithead piece of shit motherfucker upstairs of a neighbor from down here, fucking psychopath. Yeah, if it had not been for this motherfucker pumping knockout gas into my place for that or some such given moment of time via some such means, was I'm having to shake myself awake. From time to time going to a nod as this fucking Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter wannabe is continuing keeping up this shit of not only pumping knockout gas or gases into my place of residence from time to time, but also some such other gases to keep me awake all night, you know. And I apologize. I'm sorry for the cussing swearing that I had done, or for using something such as that being, or for employing the usage of speech of profanity. But I'm rather pissed, that this the same neighbor from down here, for the one upstairs in the apartment above that of my own, is continuing to misbehave like one is attempting to replace the last main proverbial neighbor from down here, being the likes of whom was or is a local drug pusher, or dope dealer, for this vicinity area, neighborhood community. And as he used to stay on the same floor level where I'm at, a few apartment doors down from me. Now you all could possibly or probably is wondering why I say who was and is, or is and or was, and put it like that. Imagine being told by two different persons, where one says that he moved out to another unit of available apartment vacancy of a place of residence, and be it in this building or in another building, be it in this neighborhood or another neighborhood. And then imagine where it's still another individual person saying in more words or less that you think that this one particular main neighbor from damn hell, a drug pusher could have possibly gotten popped from behind with a poo-poo in the possession of a rival counterpart of oneself. And as he himself is about to bust a nut, and his woman that is laid down with him, there's the rival drug pusher standing behind him, ready to bust a cap in the back of his head of his skull, after making like a worship party trasher, as in an intruder or home invader. And whereas this same drug pushing neighbor from damn hell character, he would cause me so much pain from stalking me into the business office of the management, where all I'm doing is going in there to renew my apartment rent lease, although I was having misgivings about it. Transacting business with the real estate administrator representing personnel. And then where she had to flip the script in that same minute, attempting to tell them that, I'm causing him to feel uncomfortable, like as if I'm the predator parasite and he himself is the victim of prey, to how at one time or another he rode his bicycle, or bike to simply say, up on my person, creeping as he was. Not just once, but a few times. And each and every one of them times he about to say, excuse me, apologize. And, whereas he goes into his inner clothing, still that one of them give him a moment of time. And he said, hold it right there, I got something for you. So I pulled out my cell phone and say, replying, I was like saying, well, let my police friends know that you have got something for me. Yes. I'm sorry. He's this other neighbor from down here who's to replace him. It's pumping knockout gas in my place again, got me now. But anyway, where was I? To continue for when my friend that last left out. And then, whereas from there, he rolled off just as quick. He rolled up on me with his bike. And then he did the same this time with his car parked alongside the building. And West, I'm not a night owl, never was really one. Even when I was smoking and drinking and smoking, my drug of choice being marijuana that I'm in recovery for, taking my recovery upon a daily basis, as well as on recovery for intoxicating alcoholic beverages. Anyway, though, Wes, I'm not really a night owl. I never was, even when I was drinking and drugging. And Wes, I would only venture out at ungodly hours into the streets, be able to check on a loved one of my relatives or family members, to check on one of the friends of my own immediate personal household, or I would go outside at ungodly hours to check on an emergency situation or a case that involving my own general physical health. Anyway, though, here it is. He's parked alongside the building. He's mouthing off, talking crazy and so forth. Said the same thing. Hold it right there. I got so forth. I kept walking to a local train station right across the street from the building for a mass transit, a public transportation system with all of this many different buses and train routes. And then there's the times he running down up the sidewalk, or whatever I said, behind me. Couldn't wait till I exit the building and pull that crap. I was originally going to become a part of ridership of mass transit and public transportation system. For the train station right across the street from the building. Yeah, but then from there I'm having to change my mind and catch bus route instead. And then he pulled the same crap again as I'm coming back from our hospital. At some such given moment time. Whereas this is late at night, and whereas he himself is in the front entrance and exit way of the building for that some such a given moment in time. And whereas I spotted him there, and so I decided to take a detour and change my mind to try to enter the building via one or two back doors. Whereas he could have probably already have had some accomplices in crime or homies of his there with him, as well as he could have probably been talking to one on his own personal cell phone while standing in the front entrance of the exitway building. Well, I barely made it into my apartment, after taking a detour to get into the building via one or two back doors. And here it is, he's standing outside my apartment door, cussing and swearing with like with his hand being making physical gestures, like he's about to do some kind of kung fu drop kick on my door, like he's about to, at least break my door down, misbehaving as he was, like practically, if not possibly, on the verge of kicking my apartment door in an extreme violent physical kind of way. And whereas I'm listening to all that, and whereas I barely managed to get off a emergency telephone call to the police, although my cell phone was dying at the same time we charged it. And whereas this jerk, he has a habit of going in and out of one or two back doors more than the other one. And that's the one next to my apartment door. And although the lock mechanism is jammed, messed up, and needs repairs, therefore he would prop something in between the door and the board to make sure he can come and go as easily as he pleases, compared to the other back door that needs not any repairs, because there's nothing wrong with this lock mechanism. Yeah. Anyway, getting back to the original subject matter, topic discussion to be debated, among many different views and opinions to be affiliated, associated with, and representing some such thereof. Disregard what you heard in the background. So far, the bumping and stomping. It's just this damn dickhead prick, neighbor from damn hell, very one, as I was saying, who is misbehaving like one is attempting to replace the last main neighbor from damn hell with local drug pushing. Yeah. only reason why I spoke on some such matters is to explain why it's taking me much longer to compose that the preliminary, the basic introduction, salutation, footnotes for that matter, though I didn't really make much footnotes pressing for time. Because I was really going to try to step out and get my tea and so forth before this jerk wants to put knockout gas into my place via some means, be it the ventilation system or electrical socket, whatever. But anyway, with the present social media broadcast being as is some such video content material, it is in due regard in reference to our present POTUS, President of the United States of America, and for how he himself had dissed a late Hollywood or California actor and who had co-starred in a Venice pop culture classic of a television comedy drama called by its name title of All in the Families. And as I said instead before, let me reiterate or repeat. And West, it is believed to have been an inside job, especially when the law enforcement community, police and detectives had made a discovery investigating some such matters, doing their homework, whereas they found out that it could possibly be their son who had unalived both this Hollywood actor and his wife. And here it is, you have President Donald J. Trump. He's supposed to be making inappropriate comments or remarks against the deceased, being of which is grieving the loved ones of the deceased, being relatives or family members and friends. And that is unpresidential, non-president. That is inappropriate. President Donald J. Trump. It's inappropriate. So I say, as a Trump supporter, you're just giving more ammo to the opposition, where they could use that against you in the future. Anyway, though, let me close out by saying, if you have not gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, I hope that you would think to do so now while the blood is still running warm in your veins, by recognizing and realizing what he himself had done or did or whatever. I said that's the correct, proper standing English grammar American dialect of our own adopted native tongue, and not with all the grammatical usages and of a rather expansive, extensive, versatile, impressive vocabulary. Well, that's backtrack here to complete formalized thought. And whereas if anyone else were to profess faith in, from there we come blessing one regard another, and more with one. First, with his salvation being the only fire insurance against the lake of fire down hell, being of his blood sacrifice. Then, second of all, with his deliverance. But first, you have got to get his salvation, otherwise, your final destination will become the lake of fire down hell, where you will burn with the rest of the unsaved, lost down human souls, be tortured and terrorized by the devil and the demons, compared to how we as believing God will be crossed the great divide, separates heaven from hell, in the company of like-minded believers, independent God and his angels. And even so, be blessed down here upon the planet Earth. And while we're here, hopefully we could possibly come or be a blessing on to other by sharing with them the gospel message of salvation of our Lord and Savior Christ. You all take care and be safe, and we're out. Peace.